Hi, and welcome to another episode of Better Golfer Today. We have a great new show planned for y'all today. As always, I try and provide the best insights into the world of golf, whether it is tips, instruction, equipment, or anything else golf related. This week's main topic is going to be on picking the right 3-wood. As always, I'll be sharing what I'm working on, and this week's tip of the week is on not using driver off the tee. So let's get started. Main topic. This week we are talking about picking the right 3-wood for you. This is something that is usually overlooked a lot of the time, and it's usually the last club in your bag you think of getting fit for. I mean, seriously, who asks to get fitted for a 3-wood? You may think you have been quote-unquote fitted to that fairway wood of yours, but odds are it's nothing close to like what you got fit for a driver. I don't know why they don't do this, but they don't. I can tell you that the last time I asked to get fit for a 3-wood, the fitter said, "Why?" And I said, "No, seriously, I want to get fit for a 3-wood." And he said, "I have nothing for you. Nobody asked to get fit for a 3-wood." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm serious. Like, nobody ever asked. Like, I have no equipment here for you to try. None." And I was like, "Man." He's like, "Your best bet." He goes, "Demo days in a couple weeks." He goes, "That guy will have some more stuff 3-wood wise." He goes, "But I have nothing." He goes, "I'm sorry, but like nobody asked for it." And that was one of the reasons why I decided to put this podcast together today. The number one reason they don't do 3-wood fittings is financial. Club companies don't make as much money off of 3-wood, so neither does the fitter. And hardly anyone even asks to get fit for one, just like I said earlier. And if you look at the 3-wood options most fitters have, it's really a joke. Just a couple of stock shafts and some random flexes and weights. And most of the shafts do the same thing. It's all pretty pathetic. So this is no good. And pretty much everywhere I've went, it's all the same. Except, like I said earlier, when your club hosts a demo day with Titleist or TaylorMade. Both of them do a pretty good job. TaylorMade is a slightly better one at giving you a lot of options when it comes to different shafts and in some cases different shaft lengths. TaylorMade has really stepped up their game recently. Titleist is still really good, and their custom shaft options are incredible. So if you can actually get your hands on some of the shafts to try out, Titleist has the most options available. And so, got to give credit's due. Titleist does a really, really good job at making sure you can get the custom fit club that you desire. It's just hard to sometimes get it. The only downside to this is the fitter doesn't have an hour to dedicate just for you at the demo days. And if he or she did, she'd only be able to help 4 or 5 people a day. And again, economics plays a big role here. The more people they get into the clubs, the more they sell, and that's the name of the game, unfortunately. So how do you go about getting fit for a 3-wood? The key, this is something that I've been working on a long time, the key is knowing what you want to get out of the 3-wood. The key is knowing what you want to get out of a 3-wood. Distance, trajectory, spin rate, workability, etc. These are the things you should be looking at to get your desired results. Also, what are you going to use the club for? Are you using it to lay up on long par 4s or par 5s? Or is it going to be used to hit tee shots if your driver brings trouble into play? Or do you want some combination of all of that? So to start, get an idea of what you're going to use the club for and what kind of ball flight you're looking to get. Next, you need to get a baseline with your current 3-wood. Now, in the previous podcast, I talked about getting a baseline with the driver. But with a 3-wood, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit 5 to 15 golf balls with that 3-wood. Either going to be off the tee, on the ground, or a combination of both. Preferably both. You want to see what the 3-wood does off the tee and see what it does off the fairway. And then you get, with that baseline, you can go and try new stuff to figure out which one works better into that situation. So that's how you get your baseline. From there, you can get a good idea of what direction you need to go in to get the right club for you. A lot of club companies post data on how certain shafts perform in their equipment. If you hit the ball low, getting a shaft and club head that it hits it higher would be something you want. It really all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Hint, hint. Titleist and TaylorMade have charts that show you how the shafts affect ball flight. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Go to their website and look at their charts. If you can, try as many shaft and club head combinations that you can. Some 3-woods will look good next to the ball, others not so much. So testing is very important. But if you just buy off the rack, you're getting whatever club the club companies wanted you to have, which might not be anything close to what you need. And it may be better than your old 3-wood, but you'll still be leaving strokes out there because it isn't the best solution for your game. But what could also happen is you get a terrible club for your game. And that would just be a waste of time and money. A waste of time and money. And if you're really serious about your game, don't cut corners. Because seriously, why would you get fit for a 3-wood if you weren't serious about your game? A great 3-wood is something that can last you years and be a great asset to better scoring for the future. Seriously, I got 2 words for you. They're not even words, but seriously, Henrik Stenson. The guy is a machine with a 3-wood. He used the same 3-wood to win his major. He used it for like 6-7 years in a row. And then last year, which was the 2017 season, he switched. And he still had a win. He won the Wyndham. But obviously not anywhere near as good or as consistent a year as he did in the years previous with his old 3-wood. So a good 3-wood can be really, really important to your game. And if you take notice, a lot of the better players out there, they're pretty good with hitting 3-woods. You don't see a lot of players hit 3-wood as often as they used to. Players today hit the ball a lot farther, and so they're just not hitting them as often. But when you get on some longer golf courses, you will see them pull that club out more often, and you'll see them really take advantage of the fitting that they went through for that 3-wood. So, I mean, again, it's a pretty good idea to get fit for one if you can. Again, demo days, that's your best bet to try out stuff. But honestly, say you're going through an iron fitting or a driver fitting, at the end of the fitting, just be like, hey, can I have 5 minutes to hit some 3-woods? I just want to get a baseline. Or be like, hey, man, is there any way I can come back, on the weekend, like early, come in for like 15 minutes, let me hit a couple of 3-woods just to get a baseline so I know like what to get. Because I'll be honest with you, if you're going to order that club through them, there's no reason they wouldn't want to come in a little bit early to help you out. Okay? So let's move on to what I'm currently working on. I'm still working on improving my flexibility with the yoga. Also, I'm on the search for new irons, wedges, and a 3-wood. So this is going to be a fun search, but definitely exhausting. I'm really, really particular with my equipment. I mean, like super, super particular. And when I find something I like, I don't like changing. So it takes me a pretty good amount of time to figure out what I'm going to jump on. But my irons are starting to wear out. My wedges are starting to wear out, and my 3-wood is cursed. So I need to get some upgrades. So yeah, I've tried out some of the new TaylorMade stuff already. Like that. Did not like the Titleist 3-wood that I tried out. Did not like that at all. The head looked too big to me. It was weird. But with my wedges, I'm looking for versatility. I want it to complement my swing, and they need to play their role well. The new Titleist SM7 wedges, the new the new milled wedges by TaylorMade. They're really good. Both of them are really good. They have great feel. They have nice colors, good grinds. Titleist obviously has more grinds, but they're good clubs. Irons, I'm looking for low spin, high launch, and great feel, and I need something that's a little bit better out of the rough than my current set. The heads are just a little bit bigger than I'd like, so I need something a little bit smaller, but still gives me some good performance. And the 3-wood, I need something that launches way, 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 way higher. I don't put any spin on the ball, so I need the launch higher. I need to spin a little bit more. And so yeah, I am a mess with 3-woods right now. Like I said, my current one's cursed and it hates me. So I got some work to do. All right, moving on. Tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is on not using your driver off the tee. Over the past year, I've been trying out playing holes differently than I've done in the past. I used to be a, quote, hit driver every time down the middle, end quote, guy, and get as close to the hole as possible. Now I'm trying to give myself my best yardages into the green, which are 175 yards, 160 yards, 150, 140, 125, 90, 80, and 65 yards. So I look to get the ball into or around any of those yardages, which means not hitting driver as often. So that means I'm hitting a lot more 3-woods, and my 3-wood is cursed, so you can imagine how crazy this is driving me. And I'm also hitting more hybrids and irons off the tee as well. I've definitely seen some major improvements in some areas, and I look forward to continue doing this. And I may look odd to some people with my club choice, but believe me, I stat everything, and the numbers don't lie. I'm playing to my strengths. And this is something that's I'm a really big believer in terms of my philosophy on golf. I think everyone should know inside and out what their strengths are. And they should also know what their weaknesses are and like kind of how to avoid the weaknesses and play to their strengths. I, for whatever reason, didn't do this for a long time, but now I am, and I'm seeing a big improvement in my consistency and my level of play. So again, I'm sticking to my guns, I'm playing to my strengths, and I'm doing what works best for me. Again, golf's a unique game. It's unique to each player. And so you should do things that are unique to you. You don't have to do what everybody else does. You shouldn't do what everybody else does. You should do what's right for you. You should always do what's right for you on the golf course. And so that's all I have for you this week. Again, thank you for tuning in and listening. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time on here learning more about golf. So stay tuned for more golfing goodness coming your way in the coming weeks. That being said, if you can, hop on over to Facebook and join Tyler Dice Golf's Insider Circle group on Facebook. It's pretty quiet right now, but it's going to have some really cool stuff getting posted soon, and we're going to have some awesome stuff moving forward. I've got some really cool things coming down the pike, and they'll get posted into the group first. So if you want first access to stuff, and this is going to be, just great golf information, get into the group so you can get access to it first. It'll be a lot less cluttered and crowded in there. So get into the group. Tyler Dice Golf Insider Circle. Again, stay tuned. I got some great stuff coming in the pike. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.